Welcome back to American Textbook Reading. I'm Brian Storant. Today, we're going to learn about symbols of the United States. What are the symbols of the United States? What are they? So today, we're going to learn about the symbols of the United States. Here are some symbols of the United States. Here we have George Washington. We have Abraham Lincoln, we have Thomas Jefferson, and Franklin Roosevelt, or J.H. Roosevelt. We also have the Liberty Bell, the Statue of Liberty, Uncle Sam, Bald Eagle, and the American flag. All of those are the symbols of the United States. We also have symbols that are houses or landmarks. We have the Washington Monument, also a symbol. We also have the Capitol. Now, don't get confused with this. The Capitol. You see? Can you see the Capitol building? Don't get confused with it. It is spelled Capital. But the capital of the United States is Washington, D.C. So it is called a city. But don't get confused with Washington and Washington, D.C. either. Okay? Washington, D.C. means Washington, which is the District of Columbia. But Washington is just a city. Okay? But don't get confused with this. Capital. The same pronunciation, capital, but the kind of like different spelling. So you spell capital city is C-A-P-I-T-A-L, but capital you spell C-A-P-I-T-A-L-O-L. Okay, so don't get confused with it. We also have the Lincoln Memorial. The Lincoln Memorial, the Statue of Liberty, the Washington Monument, the Capitol. Lots of kinds of houses or buildings are also related to the symbols of the United States. Okay, now are you ready for some of the vocabularies? Let's begin. First, we're going to talk about the symbol. The symbol, it stands for something else. Like, if you're in a building, a tall building, if you're in California, for example, you're in California City, and the symbol of California City is the flag or Scotiabank Tower. Did you know about the tower before? We have lots of kinds of towers, but if you're in California, for example, you need to find where that tower is. It's a little bit tall, so you can see it from far away. Like from my house, from the other side, I can see a landmark tower. Its name is Landmark Tower, okay? Let's move on with the next one. What is the next one? The next one is bald. Bald, having no hair. You have no hair, which means you are bald. In the lesson, in the book, you usually see that the dad and son always have no hair, but they'll grow and they'll have hair again. And also, they'll shade it away until the hair never stops growing. Your hair never stops growing, so do not shave your hair a lot. Just shave your hair just a bit because your hair never stops growing. It will take a long time for bald people hair to go away. Okay, the next one is stripes. The stripes is the thin narrow line of color. why it stripes a thinner line of color? We'll talk about that in just a second. Now, are you ready for some of the American symbols? Let's begin with some of the American symbols. We have the Statue of Liberty, the Liberty Bell, Uncle Sam, Bald Eagle, American flag, and Mount Rushmore. What are some faces in Mount Rushmore? We have George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Franklin Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln, or Abe Lincoln, as we just told. Abe Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln, or Lincoln. Okay, now that you know why we built the Lincoln Memorial, to honor President Lincoln, because why? He's dead. Why is Abraham Lincoln dead? He was shot in the chest, as you already know, right? When he was running, or when he ran for the president the second time. After that, he was the 41st president. Then he ran another time. He was the 42nd president. But after he died, he was still the president. But he was a president while he was in the sky when he was buried. Because after 4 years, he was not a president. Because in the previous lesson about the government, the United States government, I told you that presidents, governments, and mayors can only be elected for 4 years. Mayors or governors or mayors, governors, and governments can work for quite long time, like 8 or 70 years. But the president has 8 years of time. Why? The president was only elected twice, because if Abraham Lincoln was not shot once, he was the 41st, then he loses one time of president election, and the next one he loses all the president's election. So after he died, they will elect another president. Now let's move on with the Liberty Bell. The Liberty Bell rang. Some people thought that the Liberty Bell rang when the Declaration of Independence was written. True or false? False. No, that's not. Because the Liberty Bell rang when there is freedom. So the Liberty Bell has to go on a crack. Crack! Crack! The Liberty Bell has to go crack here. I forgot to draw the crack. But no worries, because the last Liberty Bell rang, and it rang 80 years. So this must be the 48th year. So it wouldn't have to be cracked. It just cracked a little until it cracked more and more and more and more until the 81st day it cracked when the men rang it. Okay? Now let's move on with Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam was not an Uncle Sam. Uncle Sam was just a film character. When he does like this, he says that I want you to be in a war and fight for your country. That means that he was encouraging young men to fight in a war for their country. So that's why we have Memorial Day, the celebration of, that's why we have to include Memorial Day. Because Memorial Day was the day that we have to honor the soldiers who had died in the Civil War. And also World War II and World War I. You also have Civil War, Waterloo, and many other kinds of wars. But the most important one was the Civil War and World War I, World War II. Okay? Now, we'll have the bald eagle. The bald eagle was not very bald, but because it has white hair, when it flies far, 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 far away, its head looks like that it's bald. I have no hair, I have no hair. I shade my hair, shade my hair, shade my hair until I have no hair. Then it will grow back and I'll shade it again. Just like that. Now, what's next? Let's look down at the other one. What we have some of the American landmarks. We have Capitol. We have White House. We have Washington Monument. We have Lincoln Memorial. We have blah blah blah. Just like we have blah blah blah. I just said that. I said we have Lincoln Memorial and we have blah blah blah. Just like that. Now that's all of the sight words and the vocabulary words you need to learn. And now we'll answer some true and false questions. Are you ready? Now let's get with the first true and false question. What is the first one? Places cannot be a symbol. True or false? False. Places can be a symbol. Why? The Lincoln Memorial is a place. The blah 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 is the place. The Washington Monument is the place. The Washington Monument is a place, and it's also a capital. A symbol. The Capitol is also a symbol. The Lincoln Memorial is also a symbol, and others are also symbols. Only one more thing. You'll guess. Now let's move on with the next one. Mount Rushmore is a place that you can visit, but you can also destroy. True or false? False. Mount Rushmore is a place, but you can't destroy it. Why? It's a big mountain with 3 presidents' faces. We have Chopala, George Washington, Thomas. You have George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Franklin Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. What is your favorite head on the Mount Rushmore? What is your favorite head? You like Washington, right? And I like Lincoln. But you know, George Washington has old hair, and Thomas Jefferson has a big mustache. Franklin Roosevelt also has a big mustache, but Abraham Lincoln has a big mustache. But 3 of these are wearing hats, but Lincoln is not wearing a hat. But truly, this guy has a little mustache. Okay? Now, are you ready for the third question? If you sit on a rock, the rock is tall and it has 4 faces, which means it's Abraham Lincoln. True or false? False. When you sit on the rock is tall, but it only has Abraham Lincoln. It's not the Mount Rushmore, but it is the Lincoln Memorial's inside statue. But Mount Rushmore has, I already tell you, that we have George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Franklin Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Okay, now, are you ready to take a short break? So now let's take a short break and come back and we'll do the reading section. The speaking section. Okay, don't go away. I am a Civil War soldier. Shut up like that. I'm another man, not Ryan Stewart. Okay, I am just another man. Okay, don't worry about Ryan Stewart. So now I'm another man. So now we're gonna talk about the speaking section. The speaking section has lots of types of facts and details about as I told you, the symbols of the United States. Okay? Are you ready? Let's get started. The United States has many symbols. Each symbol of the United States is people and history of the United States. Some symbols can be objects. This is an object. This can be an object, can be objects, or it can be animals. Like fish, but not fish. I just show you the example, some example about things or objects and animals. So what is an object that is the symbol of the United States? It can be, what can it be? Let's see. Have you guessed it? I've guessed it. It is the American flag. The American flag is the symbol of the United States, which means it's a object. And also it has stars. Stars and stripes on the flag are related to one state. The bald eagle is also a symbol of the United States. Now, we're going to talk about the places and buildings that are symbols. It can be the Washington Monument and the White House are important American symbols or important American landmarks. The Lincoln Memorial was built to honor President Abraham Lincoln, Abe Lincoln, or Lincoln. And the Capitol building was built to show that the American flag or America country is a republic. Like someone says, "You're the hero of the republic," and he shakes their hand. Like Abraham Lincoln, Rosa Parks, and Dr. Martin Luther King is the hero of the republic in America. I just told you. We said the celebration of holidays. We have the hero of the United States, which is Abraham Lincoln, Rosa Parks, and Dr. Martin Luther King. Okay, I just talked a little fast, but you can always pause the video because this is a live video, so you can always pause the video to listen to me more carefully. Okay. Now let's do some few more questions as like brainstorm. And what are those questions? Those questions are about the symbols of the United States. We have some questions that you need to circle. Okay, are you ready? Let's get started with some questions. Those questions are, first, the Lincoln Memorial was built to, blah blah blah, beep. Okay, so what is that answer? Is it to honor President Abraham Lincoln, to honor Washington D.C., to honor Mount Rushmore, or to honor the Liberty Bell? It was built to honor Abraham Lincoln. Now, the next one. What is the next one? The next one is Mount Rushmore has 4 faces, which is, now you have 2 answers. The first answer, which is Mount Rushmore, Abraham Lincoln, Franklin Roosevelt, and the Liberty Bell. The second one is George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Franklin Roosevelt, and Abe Lincoln, or Abraham Lincoln, or Lincoln. Okay, now, which answer do you choose? A or B? B, alright? B. B is the correct answer. It can also be known as the the People Mountain. But did you know that Mount Everest was the tallest mountain, but Mount Rushmore is even taller than it? But the tallest mountain in the solar system is the volcano in Mars. I just told you we have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. But long time ago, Pluto was also a planet, but it didn't clean its path, so it was blocked out of so it was pushed out of the solar system, our solar system, by the other planets because it's very small and it can't clean its path out of the way. So it usually crashes into some meteorites. But now, if you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe me more at American Textbook Reading, Science, Social Studies 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for Science and Social Studies. So now, you just need to write my name on those lessons and write your favorite lesson, and you can see my lessons and the real Brian Stories lessons. Okay, so now, goodbye.